Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fikemi and thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, I am cooking with a YouTube favorite, the electric lunchbox. Now, if you are on YouTube as much as I am, then you might have come across videos like these. But personally for me, it was kind of like a personal thing. I had to find a way to cook and work at the same time, even if it's something small. Even if it's not like a full-sized meal, but at least I will be able to get something cooking while I'm working without worrying about it getting burnt or overcooked or all that good stuff. And came in the lunchbox. So I watched so many YouTube videos, especially videos from Vida Boki, and I fell in love with the lunchbox and I just had to get it. And I did. So this is the box the lunchbox came in. It didn't survive the journey. Mind you, I got this on Jumia, Nigeria. It was on the site for a very good price, so I got a really good deal for it. So the box didn't survive the journey, but the contents did, surprisingly enough. It was packed really well, so I don't have an issue with that. And this is what the little box looks like. This is my lunchbox. So this is the lunchbox. It has some stainless steel parts inside, so and I'll open that up for you further on in the video. But this is what the box looks like. It has an on switch right here and an electrical outlet for the plug. Yes, for the plug here as well. So in addition to this box, it came with some other accessories, and I'm just going to do a brief introduction to what these accessories are. Let me just reach for them here. And it came with a 90 milliliters measuring cup, a really tiny measuring cup, a plastic spoon. This is an egg tray, an egg cooker. You can actually cook eggs inside the lunchbox as well. And also a plastic lid to cover your meals when you're done cooking. And also it came with 2 plugs. Surprisingly, I was just like really surprised. It came with 2 plugs. It came with this 2-pin plug and also the 3-pin one. I don't know where the 3-pin one is. I must have thrown that somewhere. But all the same, it was properly like assembled, properly packed, and everything worked. So if you would love to watch me cook with this lunchbox and hear my final thoughts on how it works, then keep on watching. Alright, so let's open up the box. Now when you open the lunchbox like I did, it came with 2 stainless steel containers, a bigger one and a smaller bowl. And the base of the lunchbox is a heating plate that has an on switch and an electrical outlet socket at the back. That's where you plug it in and you plug it to electricity. And 2 extras, the egg cooker, like the instruction. Yeah, it came with an instruction manual. The instruction manual says that's an egg cooker, and a plastic cover for covering your food once you're done cooking, or if you just want it to continue steaming in the lunchbox without the lunchbox working. And 2 plugs. It came with a 2-pin plug and a 3-pin plug, and for the price I was pleasantly surprised that it came with these 2 plugs. I love that. And last but not the least, the really itty bitty small measuring cup that I absolutely adore. It's just adorable. It's an adorable cup. So for the demo, I decided to cook some steamed rice with a spicy curry beef soup. So we're starting off with the beef or with the meat. Now I went to the market and I told our meat seller that I wanted a really soft part of the cow. So I really don't know what part this is, but it's just a softer part of the meat of the cow. So to make the cooking process easier, I chopped the beef into tiny or small bite-sized pieces. It's easier that way since we're more or less cooking in a steamer. That's what the lunchbox is. It steams the food that you use it to cook. So I'm just gonna slice the beef into bite-sized pieces and then spice it up with as many spices as I could possibly get. Now Since it's going to be a spicy curry beef soup, I decided to try the natural spicy curry, aptly named, and it was just a blend, really nice blend of spices, some chili powder, some garlic powder, some black pepper powder. Yes, just add any generic spices that you have. And for salt, I'm going to be trying this vegetable and savory seasoning. It's a salt seasoning. And for the liquid mix, I'm going to be using some light soy for some flavor and some dimension to my soups. So since the soy is the only liquid element I'm using to marinate this beef, I've added in all the spices. So I'm just going to add the soy and mix the beef in. Now, because the lunchbox is styled around you not having time to cook a meal and just, so all these were done the day before, especially the meat. I prepared the meat a day before. I knew that I was going to cook and I was going to be busy. So yes, this was a day before when I had time to meal prep. So once all the spices were in, I couldn't find the cover of that particular container, so I just grabbed a Ziploc bag. You can even spice the meat directly in the Ziploc bag, but I felt this would be easier to get all the spices and all the juices out. So you're just gonna have to marinate your meat. If you have pre-prep time before you start cooking, then you can do this a couple of hours before, but I didn't, so this was done a day before I started cooking. I just placed the beef and the spices and the soy in a Ziploc bag and kept it in the fridge overnight till I knew that I was going to have to cook or have lunch the next day while working. So now it's time to start cooking, and I'm going to be cooking some rice in the upper container. Daboki cooked something similar and he cooked the rice in the upper container, and I'm going to be cooking some rice, and I'm just going to be cooking just one measurement of rice with the measuring cup. Yes, one measurement, because I watched a couple of videos and one was quite good. So in the lower container, I'm going to be cooking some carrots alongside the beef. I'm going to be cooking some carrots, some spring onions, some green peppers, some garlic, some onions, and just your basic soup vegetables. And now that the meat is out of the fridge, it's time to layer my ingredients. It's easier to layer, and I'm starting from the hardest ingredient you have to cook to the softest. So that means the meat has to go down first. So I'm just going to scrape everything out of that bowl and just make sure that I have an even spread on the bottom of the bigger stainless steel bowl, and then add all the vegetables, adding all the vegetables, the onions, the garlic, the carrots, the green pepper, and the spring onions, and just layer that over the meat. The reason why the vegetables are going in over the meat is that so that the juices can stew together and just everything just cooks together. Well, the videos I watched, that was what they did. So rinsing out, just gonna add a little water, add some more spices. It's soup, so it has to be spicy. So I'm just gonna add some more spices, add some more curry, add some more pepper. The hotter the better. I love spices, I love pepper in my meal, so it has to have that element of pepper. So I'm gonna go in with some soy just to add some more flavor to it. I'm not really adding any salt to this dish, so I'm relying on soy and some the spices and the salt seasoning as salt in this meal. So once you're done, or once I was done, I added water to just mix or let everything get like a good mix inside the bowl. Just very little water. The vegetables are going to bring out their own fluids, but if you really want this to be a proper soup style sauce, then go ahead and add more water. Now that we have prepped everything, the rice is washed, the vegetables are well seasoned and spiced, just going to go ahead and set up your lunchbox. Just make sure you set it up in somewhere that's a little bit somewhere that's safe and safe that you won't have accidents with it. So I tasted the seasoning, or I tasted the broth for salt, and I realized that it was a little bit flat. So I went ahead and added a seasoning or a stock cube. I just sprinkled that on top and left it at that. So I'm putting the washed rice that I had in the smaller container over the larger one, and I'm going to add some salt to the rice. If you don't eat your rice with salt, then go ahead and skip this part, but I'm going to lightly salt my rice and then add water to the brim of that smaller container inside the lunchbox. Now comes the tricky part. Now in the lower part of the lunchbox, I'm going to be adding 2 cups of the measuring cup of water. You have to cook it with, you have to add water to the base, because like I said, it's more or less a steamer. So most of the videos, or all the videos I watched, you had to put water in the lower compartment of the lunchbox. And I guess the quantity of water depends on how long it would steam for. So once that is done, I'm going to clip the cover in place. Make sure you hear the click sounds before you, or you make sure you hear the click sounds to make sure that you have locked the lunchbox properly. So I couldn't decide which plug to use, so I just went ahead and used 3-pin one. That was the closest to what I had in the kitchen that I could plug it to. And here comes the moment of truth. Will it come on? Will you? Yes, it came on. I hadn't actually even tested it after I bought it, so that was just a win. So I'm going to be setting a timer for 30 minutes, and that's just because I am leaving the kitchen and I'm going to come back in 30 minutes. I mean, that's the point of the lunchbox. But before I leave, because it's a soup and I want it slightly thickened, I'm going to be making a paste of some cornstarch or corn flour, some vegetable oil, and some soy, chili pepper, and some curry as a post-cooking paste, thickening paste. I think there's a word like that. Yes, just to thicken the soup after the 30 minutes timer has gone off. So once that is mixed, I just set it aside and I came back in 30 minutes. Now, can you see that little box steaming? It was steaming like vigorously. Now 30 minutes is up and it's time to test out the box. Now make sure you turn it off before you open. Electrical safety always. So I turned it off and I opened the box. Fingers crossed, people. Fingers crossed. And open. That steam was glorious. Okay, so this is what we have. Oh my goodness, you're steaming off my camera. All right, let's get back to where we're at. So the rice, looking at it, it was pretty hot. The rice wasn't so cooked, just a little bit. It still had some water in it, but it was doing pretty well. It was doing quite fine. I mean, from that raw look that it had a few minutes ago, and it looks like this. But the soup, oh my goodness, this looked amazing. This looked beautiful. The carrots were just rightly. The carrots already looked like, you know, they were ready to be in someone's belly already. The meat was practically cooked. Like if you had to cook meat over gas or electric cooker, this beef is cooked. So there wasn't really any issue for me with the soup. The soup was cooked. It was just now to thicken it, like with the thickening mixture that we had mixed previously. So I'm just going to pour that mixture in. And if you skipped the video, the mixture is some cornstarch, some vegetable oil, and some other, some more seasoning, some curry, some soy, some chili pepper. This is going to thicken the soup because the rice is not yet cooked. So I'm going to be adding some more water into the base of the lunchbox and putting the rice back to continue the cooking process. I'm not going to be adding any more water to anything. I mean, you saw the water I started with in the soup, and see how much broth or how much liquid I have left there. So I'm just going to add some more water to the base of the lunchbox and then cover it up for another 30 minutes. It didn't even do up to 30 minutes this next time, but cover it up for another 30 minutes, set a timer, and I vanished for 30 minutes. Turn it on and go ahead and do whatever it is or whatever it was that you wanted to do. Now, before I came back, before the timer went off, I noticed that the lunchbox had switched itself off automatically, and I was pretty scared that, oh my goodness, I hope this hadn't stopped working, but it was just it's a security feature of the lunchbox. Now, this rice is cooked. Let me try to zoom you into the rice, but this is cooked rice. Like, this is perfectly cooked, really soft and fluffy rice. Like, I couldn't believe the texture of the rice. Nigerian rice, when you cook it over the cooker and you have all the starch spilling left and spilling right, it's really annoying. But this was a clean boil. This was a clean cook, and no, this was perfectly cooked rice. Perfectly cooked rice. Let me see if I could zoom the camera in so that you can actually see the grains of the rice. But this rice was cooked perfectly. Now, if you're wondering where that disappeared to, that disappeared into my mouth. It tasted fantastic. And the soup, oh my dear Lord, do you see that simmer? It was perfect. It was tasty. The carrots were really soft to the bite. It was good soup. It is good soup. Now, because it has cornstarch in it, once it starts cooling down, it started getting thicker. As you can see here now that the broth got thicker, and that was just the way I wanted it. I mean, it's rice and it's soup. It's just something really light, something that you could like eat and it would go quietly and slide effortlessly down your throat, even if you don't have to chew. So this is the moment of truth. It is time to give our creation a taste test. Now, I was looking pretty stressed out on the day I filmed this, so I tried as much as possible not to show my face in this particular part of the video, so bear with me. So I'm just gonna dish out some of the rice. The rice was quite much. I mean, it was just that tiny little cup of rice, and I'm not a heavy eater. If you are a heavy eater, then maybe this quantity of rice might not be enough for you, but I don't eat so much, especially when I'm working or even when I have to eat. I'm not a heavy eater. So I'm taking like a third or a half of that rice, and I'm just going to drizzle some of the soup on it. I mean, look at that. It just looks really good. And it tasted perfect. Like, I'm not even saying this because I'm the one that cooked it, but it tasted pretty perfect. Alright, so it's time to do a taste test. So bear with me. I did not really show myself eating this. Just a quick smile at the camera, a quick pout actually. Just me being my regular goofy self. Yeah, so let's see now. This was the very first bite I took. And voila. That was, I couldn't believe what I was tasting after that, but it was good. It was a well cooked meal. It was savory, it was tasty, and it was good. Honestly, it was good. Just look at the colors, look at the texture. Nothing was overcooked, everything was just right. And I managed to get like a taster's portion for my brothers, and they said it was really good, to the point that they were asking for more. Like, was that all you cooked? That can be all. Just give us some more. So, so stay with me as I share my final thoughts, and I will be right back. Hi there, welcome back. Honestly, I wish I could serve you that meal through the video, but it was a properly well cooked meal. The rice was just really soft, and the soup was perfectly made, very spicy, very fresh. Honestly, I wouldn't trade this little box for anything in the world. Now, is it something I think you should have? Yes, it is. You can add this to your kitchen collection and just have this in the office if you have a kitchenette style type of office like I do. I actually use this box I've used this box twice. After filming that particular video, I just used it to boil rice. I already had a homemade stew ready, and it was just the best hot, steamy, well cooked rice I have had in a very long time. Sorry, but Chicken Republic, you have to wait until I'm actually going to drop this box, which is not anytime soon. So if this is something that you are considering getting, then go ahead and get it. It is well worth whatever price I had to pay for it, and it's no regrets whatsoever. Little box, no regrets whatsoever. Thank you so much for watching. If you loved the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It helps my little channel grow. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in my next video.